Hey, my name's Don. I'm 52 years old, and about 9 months ago, I suffered a heart attack. Pretty crazy, eh? Turns out I had to have a triple bypass. That's the old open heart surgery, they call it. And it's quite the ordeal. It really is. Hey, trying to make a video. Keep the noise down. Thank you. So I made a video a few months after my recovery, and it seemed to hit home with a lot of people because I keep getting comments about it. So I thought I'd dive back in and give you a bit of follow-up on where I'm at, and if you're someone that's just gone through surgery or is about to, hopefully you can find some good information about what I've gone through and maybe just, give you something to think about. It's middle of May. I had my surgery and I think it was August 12th, I believe. So yeah, we're a good 9 months. Hey, I'll fight you. Maybe you shouldn't have your babies right on the walk path. Like, come on. Eat that dandelion. Yeah. I'm walking here. Geez, sorry about that. Didn't want to get into a fight with a goose there. I try to be respectful to everything in Mother Nature, but you gotta look after yourself. Anyways, what's I saying? All right, so here's the thing when it comes to getting this surgery. The surgery in today's day and age, it's routine. It's pretty straightforward. The biggest problem is the recovery. It takes a long time. And I would have to say, for me, the last few months, I don't even think about it too much anymore. Once you start feeling so much better, you come and you start exercising more, and I would highly recommend that you get into a cardiac rehab program, which I did and I just completed. Now, the way mine is done is a little different than some. So the hospital I was working through, it's here in my local hospital in Napanee, which is great because I didn't have to travel very far. But basically you go in, you do a stress test, you get a baseline to see where you're at, see how your heart performs, deal with a physiotherapist, dietitian. Didn't really talk to dietitian too much. I didn't really need a lot of help. Let's talk to a nurse who has a lot of experience with dealing with cardiac patients, and it was pretty good. But for me, I just had to go. I didn't have to go all the time. There's some cardiac programs where people have to go in 2 or 3 times a week. That just wasn't going to work for me. Now for me, I'm on the younger side, but what they've been seeing at the hospital is that it's more and more common, people in their 60s and 50s, and even younger than that, having heart surgery. Why is that? That's a whole other topic for, you could deep dive into what's causing these things, and I don't want to get into that. Once I got the green light from the cardiologist, started working out. I worked out like a fiend, really regular, January, February, middle of March. Got back to playing hockey, which I hadn't played in 5 years, and that went really good. But here's what the problem is. When you're recovering, you're on blood thinners. I'm not on a lot of medication, but let me tell you, the blood thinners, they affect your not your balance, but it's easy to get dizzy spells. Now, I do know how to manage them, especially when it comes to when I'm bending over. So I'm used to that now. But playing hockey felt good. But after about, I think it was my 6th week, I caught a rut and wiped out, landed on my hip. And it was sore. So I took it easy for about 2 weeks, went back out again, and it wasn't even a hard skate, it was an easy skate. We were out with kids during the March break, and I just tripped funny and landed on exactly the same spot, and oh my God, my hip was black and blue and yellow for friggin' 3-4 weeks. It's crazy. So the thing to keep in mind is when you're on blood thinners, everything takes much longer to heal. You bruise really easy. I get bruises I don't even know why I get them sometimes. It's I wonder what I did there. So what I really decided to do was to sort of scale back my extreme activities and try to be mindful of what I'm doing. So in my other video I talked about I got back to doing some hunting and got out on my ATV. Well, I started doing some more extreme, heavy, hard riding on my ATV. And I gotta watch it. I really do realize until I get off these blood thinners, which hopefully I'll be in a few months, but it's just something to consider that yeah, it's a grind. So one of the big things with that injury I had, it set me back for exercising, big time, big time. So by the time I had to go for I did, like I said, I did a stress test at the beginning of my program, then I did a stress test at the end, and I crushed it. Like the first one, I crushed it, but the second one, I only did a few more extra minutes on the treadmill, but I basically maxed out the program, and there wasn't much sense going on. So what are you gonna do? But it felt great. But even the fact that I wasn't exercising as hard as I was for like 6 weeks, and I still improved a bunch. I mean, I feel pretty good about that. But the thing is, even on my chest, like, it gets itchy sometimes, and I'm rubbing it, and I can actually feel where the stainless steel wires in there. And it's just a reminder that, yeah, you went through something big, I guess. The cardiac rehab program was really good for me in that I didn't need a lot of direction, but it was good to talk to professionals, some people that were objective and tried to keep you on track. And it was good. So my last meeting with the physiotherapist, she reiterated the fact that even though you're feeling a lot better, your heart's still recovering. Your heart is still recovering. So you need to always warm up, get the blood flowing, and try to get, the goal for me is to always do 5 days a week of good physical activity. And that's not necessarily doing the gym. Walking, hiking, going to the exercise, resistance training, that's really, really beneficial. And these are things that you need to do as you get older anyways, so why not? It's not just being physical and being active, it's what you put in your body. Like, you know what, it really does make a difference. What I want to talk about was, I would say, a few months after recovery, and I'm doing lots of walks and stuff, just flat walks. I remember coming here for the one time. Yeah, so it's probably about 15 minutes there and back. It's not that far. It's a couple of teeny little hills. But down back by the falls over here, by the dam, it's a good little hill. It's steep, and I remember I decided to go up it for the first time, and oh my God, I was so tired. It just sucked the wind and life right out of me. Wow, my wife was with me, and I told her that, and she was like, yeah, I guess you still got a ways to go. And it's like, yeah, totally. But now I walk up that thing like nothing. I do 5-kilometer hikes, which, I don't know, 3.5 miles, no problem. You just gotta stick with it. It gets better, it really does. So the other thing I wanted to add was, as you're recovering, don't get comfortable. You gotta push yourself within the proper limits, but you gotta keep pushing yourself. That's the biggest thing. And you will see the results. The more you put into it, the more you'll get out. That's all I gotta say about that. All right, thanks for listening to me babble about my life after open heart surgery. You can do it. It's a long road, but you'll get it. And if you haven't watched one of my other videos talking about this subject, why don't you check it out right here. Thanks. Leave me some comments, questions. Tell me your story. I'd love to hear them. Cheers. See you later.